Hey, what's going on? A few updates. Outside of it's almost 100 degrees and you hear the air conditioning in the background. Watermelon is just growing like crazy. I'm waiting to see a melon start developing so I can start clipping the plant a little bit. I mean, the couple of plants in there in that small amount of dirt cannot support dozens of melons, at least not in this climate. I reseeded all of the radishes. Trying to remember which ones. So this is a new one. Saxa2, XAXA2. I'm trying to remember what the other ones were. This was the French breakfast radish. This was the German giant. And there's a tag on the other side. Looks like it's Cherry Bell. So I got those replanted. Got some fertilizer. Replanted. Got some fertilizer in there. Got them spread out pretty good. And then I'll try to thin them out a little bit better once we get going. So, I mean, round trip's supposed to be about 25 to 30 days for radishes, so we'll see what happens in this heat and with some fertilizer in the soil. Nothing new with the strawberries. They slowed down a little bit. You can see a little bit hanging out there and there. They're not quite ready. Cucumbers are doing a little better. I've been watering them at night instead of in the morning. They're still a little crispy. I cut all the cucumbers off. You can see some of the blossoms. We'll go down the back alley, as I like to call it now. So this time of day, the sun's already going over the roof, so it's not too bad. But the buckets, they're still a little dry, even though they look not too bad today. You know, it hasn't been triple digits, so almost triple digits, close to 100. The sugar and the snap peas, there's a couple that are dying, the little runty ones, but you can look. So this, I didn't water from the top last night, so removing the 3 or 4 inches of soil, the self-wicking tub is doing its job. You know, for these plants that only get roots, you know, an inch or two into the soil, so they're getting better access to water. So I'll have to replant a few, but you can see the other ones are starting to do their thing. I didn't clean off all the beans. It was just way too much effort, but I did replant rattlesnake, that whole bucket, and half of this bucket is dragon tongue, and the other half is tongues of fire. Which is which, I don't remember because I'm behind it. Replanted corn, so hopefully you know, we'll get some corn in a couple months. And I had 6 remaining tomato plants, so I put 2, actually I originally had 3 and I took 1 out, so I put 2 in here, and then I put 2 in each of the green bean buckets. I figured with all these beans that I planted here, that if I would have planted more beans over there, I'd have beans coming out my ears. As it is, I'm probably gonna have beans coming out my ears anyways. And then saving this bucket for some peppers, if I can ever get them outside. They're so tiny they'll just get torched. Thought about even going and buying some other pepper plants to you know, throw in here, just because, you know, that's 2+ months of growing that I don't have to worry about, and they can just get transplanted and be good. That cucumber plant's finally dead. There might be one dangling, but you know, as I said before, it wasn't the healthiest plant. But I'm gonna walk around and pull it out. You can see, let's see how much of the root system I can pull out with one hand and holding onto the camera at the same time. Other than that, here, let me go over this bar. Nothing else happening out here. I'm not going to try to do any potatoes for a while. I'd like to get some seed potatoes, but that's probably not going to happen till fall. Or I could try to get some organics and get them to sprout and see if they'll grow. But I'm sure as heck I'm not going to hill them 1.5 feet like I did in those 2 big blue buckets. So that's not happening. You know, they'll get a couple inches of hilling and whatever dirt's in the bottom, and then they're off and running. The onions are starting to lean over, so I'm going to have to get ready to pick those and cut the tops and dry them out. How I'm going to do that, don't know yet. It's pretty warm in the garage, and it's either that or in the house, and then the house will smell like onions. So nothing else crazy going on outside. The apple tree looks good, but it had some blossoms a month or so ago, and I haven't seen anything. So I think one of the issues might be it doesn't get cold enough to make it flip in its head that oh, there was some frost, and then oh, I need to start growing or producing. But we'll see. I mean, this is second year. I was hoping to get a couple apples this year. They said don't expect anything at least the first year, but it is what it is. And then, the only other thing, we got carrots going over there, and they're just doing their thing. So a lot of reseeding, and basically just a few empty buckets where the potatoes were, and then one extra for some peppers. We'll see what happens, what I decide to do, and go from there. But the only other, not really seedlings, but the only other plants that are not in the buckets in the greenhouse is the bay leaves. Come out from the back alley, kind of enjoying the shade. You can get a really good look at how much weight is going on with all the tomatoes in there that's just pulling that thing down. It's just crazy. So, but anyways, the greenhouse is doing well. You'll see that on the update in a couple of days. And I'm looking for some different buckets. Walmart normally has 5-gallon buckets, depending on the time of year and what's in stock, multiple colors. White is not a good color for outside, although from a heat perspective it's wonderful. From an algae perspective, it's no good. I was trying to find a green or blue. I was trying to avoid the red because, like these orange buckets, they'll turn yellow eventually. But my search for colored buckets of any type, I went to 2 Walmarts today actually. They're not too far from each other, and they didn't have any buckets. So, alright, last part. Let's see what we can pull out of here. So here's part of the root system. This is all dry here. And then the rest is wet and has some algae and stuff. So, but as you can see, that would have sat about there and went most of the way down, a couple inches from the bottom. And this is, let me just lay that on top. It's no good anymore. Yeah, you can't see anything from there. Actually, you can. It's about 1 foot from the top. So, little algae on the side, not bad considering. But anyways, that was a cucumber experiment. Got more ready to go. It's just too hot to put them out here. So, anyways, that's the update for this week, and catch you on the flip flop.